On this week's episode of Casting It Out, we're going to be sharing our experiences about being unemployed, both the good and the bad.
I mean, I feel like I've been unemployed for quite some time now, and it feels weird because I don't know what life is like not working.
Yeah, I used to always feel that way, and I had always powered through and done the most. And last year, when I initially lost my job, that I was told I did great at, and then I was let go for undescribed reasons.
Perfect.
For no reason at all, just because they can, is what I was told.
Oh,
Wild scenario. And I kind of chalked it up to they had a change in leadership, and I was told that they no longer wanted me there. And I just kind of had to accept that that was the new normal for me, even though since I had gotten a job when I moved to Nashville, I had a job and I'd worked a lot and I was always doing more than I needed to do. So I had finally finished school that previous December, and I'm 3 months into being able to just work and not have to do a million things at once. And all of a sudden, it was like, okay, we're done with you. We don't need you here anymore. And, it had been kind of crazy for me. Yeah. I had my shit rocked, truthfully. It very much it rattled me. My boyfriend had me leave the house basically immediately, and he said, why don't we go on a walk? Let's take the dog on a walk. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's just be out there and, don't think about what's going on right now, because obviously it's overwhelming. It's upsetting. I'm devastated. I'm crying. I'm such a crier when it comes to being angry and just feeling betrayed. I'm a crier. Other than that, I hate crying in front of everyone and anyone, mm-hmm. But I definitely was kind of traumatized by losing my job then. And it was when, a time where the job market was awful.
Yeah.
I had applied to thousands of jobs before I found my next one. And, there was some good that came from it, because part of the reason I stayed there was because I was scared to leave because of how bad that job market was. But it definitely did really impact me a lot to lose that job and have to start again in a new position without it being my choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you lose a job or they let you go and you feel gutted because you still didn't get any closure on it, then it also rocks your self-confidence, because you're like, well, what happened? And you spend all this time with all these questions and just guess I just got to move on from it. But it takes a little bit. I lost one of my jobs right out of college, and I was I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was freaking out, and I went hard for a month applying to a ton of jobs. And I ended up finding a great job after that, and I wasn't mad that I lost that other job. And I'll never forget the day that my dad came in and he was like, I just wanted to let you know I was proud of how hard you worked to get that new job. And I was like, I did something good. So that felt good. But yeah, it sucks not having a job. It's no income coming in. I mean, I'm in a point now where I financially got myself in a good spot. So I quit my job, moved to Nashville, and so now I'm just kind of living off that and trying to find a job leisurely. But I still have the sense of what am I going to do if I have nothing coming in? I still have that panic still sitting around where I'm just no money is coming in.
I get the panic too. I mean, even with being underemployed, where, I'm not working as much as I technically could be. But in the same respect, it's it's going to be fine. It's all going to work out. I'm going to got it together. And, if I hadn't had these experiences, this podcast wouldn't exist, because I was kind of exploring more creative avenues. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how the podcast came to be. And I mean, I've been enjoying this quite a bit. It gives a different spin on things. I get to work on something that I actually really like.
Yep.
But in the same respect, I look at it and there's a lot of panic every day, and to apply to thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs every single time that I need to find something new. I mean, it's pretty stressful.
My
And
least favorite part of applying to jobs is when you get to their website and first it asks you to upload your resume and then immediately after asks you to fill out exactly what you have on your resume all over again. I was like, what did you need this for?
why did you want my nicely formatted resume so you can reject me like easier?
Please fill it out with all the information you just provided on the resume you required me to provide you. I can't take it. I hate filling that out. I'm like, oh.
No, it does rock me because I'm just like, come on. Yes. You could always just read my resume. I understand that these companies are getting like hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of resumes for each individual job. Mm-hmm. But also in the same respect, it would probably be easier if they just skimmed a resume. If they couldn't tell if you're qualified at the beginning, like they use their ATS for anyway, then they can just put you at the bottom of the pile like they were going to anyway.
Yes. Yeah, skim it for the things you had requirements for, and then push the other to the side. Don't make me fill it out 6 times on your stupid. Sorry, that one got me this week. That one genuinely pissed me off this week. I was like, let me put in my college again.
Well, and it's like, or the ones that like pull in all of your information, but then like it's all wrong, so you have to fix it anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like it puts like the description or like your degree actually where the university should go, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe your program is this. It almost makes me not want to work for them when I have to fill it out twice.
That's hilarious.
But everybody does it at this point, so now I'm doomed.
Now, yeah. Other than the easy apply, they get like 3 million people applying to every job, which is tough too. I mean, but I've also realized that, you know, a lot of those jobs that make it harder to like work there are the worst jobs to get. Every job that I've gotten that had like an easier process, for the most part, has been better because they're not making you jump through hoops to get a job there. So they're not making you jump through hoops to do your job there a lot of the time, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I can see the side of it where they're like trying to like weed out the people that don't want to or like don't feel like they need to do all this process stuff. But like, I don't know, like who is it? There's some big entrepreneur that said that they'd rather hire a lazy person because a lazy person will find a better and easier way to do it. So I'm like, I guess that's true.
I get that. Yeah. I feel that in my soul. Yeah. If I can find a way to do it faster and better, I will. Exactly. I like being efficient. I like getting stuff done. Right. I like being able to check things off of a list, which is so boring. But also in the same respect, it's really nice to just be able to go in and say, like, look at all that I accomplished today. And not, I had to jump through 37 hoops today, so I got nothing done except for the hoops I jumped through.
Yes. So. I like I used to love clearing out my email. Or like when I had responded to everything and I put my emails in the little categories where they belong, and a fresh inbox felt really good.
Thinking again of the lazy person, my email auto sorts by person.
I think I keep it not auto sourcing so I can like, oh, I'm going to drag and drop this. It's going to feel real good when I move it. It's going to feel real
good. No, I personally, so I started doing it. I got taught how to do it at my very first job out of college. They showed me how to do that, and I loved it. And it also is really beneficial because everyone knows that there are people who send you emails that you have to put on the back burner because a lot of the time you're like, my God, again, the same thing that I told you, like, hey, I'm so sorry, but that's not part of what I do. I don't know how to help you with that, or I don't. You know, you have those people, and then you also have the people that you know you need to immediately respond to, like your leadership and things like that, where you can hop in and you can say, okay, this person like asked me for XYZ. I need to tell them whatever I know. And if you get 37 emails, at least you know how to prioritize them, because a lot of the time, especially in some of the roles I've been in, I get junk from all over the place from people just wanting to sell things. So it has been a little bit, I like the auto sort because then I know if it's in my inbox, it's from someone I don't know. So I'm like, okay, this can wait a minute because I don't know who this is.
Right.
So that's always been kind of helpful for me, I think, just because I also like everything to be neat and organized and perfect.
I know.
In my workspace.
I like it organized. thing right where I had them on my desk. Like I can tell if somebody touched my desk. Like I used to know if like, oh, it's like the cleaners came today. Like, they came last night. I know they did. So I'm like, I'm like, I can tell. I put my stuff. That it sounds crazy though, but I feel like I work better when it's all really where I feel good. It's a place where I want. I can just.
I feel that too. I mean, that's something that I definitely don't miss. So I've worked from home in all of my roles since I've lived in Nashville. I mean, I've had some in person, you know, one-off times, a handful of times, like events and things like that, where I'd have to hop in. But for the most part, I've worked from home. So I guess I've worked in a little bit more chaos than I used to, but also in the same respect, there's nothing better than being able to wear comfy pants every day and just look nice with, you know, my shirt and whatever. So I've really liked that, but also in the same respect, like something that I've liked since I've been struggling with searching for jobs is that I get to find new avenues for fulfillment. Like it's not just checking off boxes anymore or clearing out an inbox that is making me feel good or finishing projects or all those mundane things that you do at work that you're like, I'm going to give myself a gold star today because all of my ducks are in a row. Everything is perfect that I did. So I'm really grateful that I got to kind of explore a little bit more about what I wanted to do. So even this last time, so the job that I picked up after I was let go from that original position last year, I worked for 8 months. It was almost every single day that I would get something from them. Literally not Monday through Friday, but Sunday through Saturday. I would get something every single day from this company, from people just texting and calling and constantly demanding my attention for things. And truthfully, there were days where like I would have to go into that office and I would just think about, I was like, it would be better if someone would just like crash into the side of my car, because it was just such a hard and bad environment where when they let me go, I was upset because it's scary to be let go from a job. I was laid off from that. It was a budgetary cut and it's scary to worry about the income, but I was so relieved because the people that worked there were awful. They were bad people. They were really, really mean. I'm just, when I'm in a work environment, I'm really good at all the stuff that I do and I'm very smart, but I'm not a cool kid. So I get along with people who aren't trying to be the coolest person in the room. I get along with people who like do their jobs well and just hang out and they don't care about the petty stuff. Yeah. And with that job, it was all about the petty. It was all about the image. It was all about the look at me, let me show off. And because you are an employee, I am your owner, is how they made you feel. That's and terrible. It was a nightmare. Like,
that's terrible.
I ended up going to visit my family, and I have a cousin who's sick right now, and we went for his big 40th birthday, and they were sending me messages at 10:30 at night while I'm trying to visit with my family, and getting upset and getting mad and sending threatening messages that are just, you need to do this now, and why haven't you done this? And it's a Saturday night at 10:30, and I'm trying to spend time with my family for my sanity. And it was every single week that I would be getting text messages late at night, over the weekend, asking to do something every single day. And at first I thought it was going to calm down.
Oh, yeah. You thought it was just like a big rush for something. And then after that,
I always thought it would just be, today is like, when you start out at a job, it's always a little bit more chaotic. You're learning. Things are getting started up. Oh, like once, we kind of get our ducks in a row, like it's not going to happen all the time. Yeah. And it never stopped happening. It was awful. I was told I was going to have help. I got less help over time. And it was just, it was a terrible experience. When I was let go, the level of relief was kind of scary because I was just like, I'm free. I'm free from them. They were like, I used to think that my first job at a college was the worst because it required me to work so much, like 12-hour days every 3 weeks for 7 days a week. And other than that, it would be like your normal 8 to 5 or whatever. But, it was just a sad place to work. Like, it was just a weird environment.
Yeah.
Like, no one really wanted to be there. So I was like, oh, that's going to be the worst of it. That's what you have to do right out of college, is you take the job that you have to take. And then I left there, and I didn't have another job that I absolutely hated until that last one. And it was like shortly before my birthday, I got let go. My last day was on my birthday. And it was such a relief to go into 32 and not be held down by them. And I mean, I did a little bit more work for them after that, but it didn't last very long. Yeah. And I was just, every time it's so scary. But if you're feeling relief when it happens, you know that there was something wrong that you were just avoiding.
Yeah. Well, then you feel like you did the right thing after. When you leave, you're just like, oh, if I feel relief, then clearly it wasn't going well. So, I mean, I think when I quit that job and moved to Nashville, there was nothing wrong with that job. It was something I know how to do, and I was fine with it. And but it just wasn't fulfilling. And I wanted to move and go do something. So when I quit and moved away from Mass, I felt good about it. It was absolutely terrifying because I've been working since I was like 14, but it felt good. But it had nothing to do with the people or the job itself. It was just like, I clearly wasn't meant to be doing this. It was more me than anything else, because all the people there were nice. I had zero problems with them. That's the other thing. If you can get a good work environment with good people, I could probably do a mundane job and be fine with it, because I was like, oh, well, I get to see people I like, so I feel good about it. But yeah, so after I left, I was like, this is terrifying. And then I was like, I just gotta get through this. I got through the move and everything, and now I feel like I put off getting a job for a long. I just found new reasons, just keep putting off applying, and then I'd apply to stuff occasionally, but I just kept putting it off, and I feel like I've almost gotten too used to being unemployed that now I'm like, I don't even know how to work anymore.
I feel that. Sometimes I feel like I get almost like very like stuck and like caught up in like not doing stuff to the point where I sit there and I go, oh, am I messing up by not trying hard enough? Or, but the reality is that there's only so many jobs out there. And I realized that one of the best things that you can do for yourself when you're unemployed is just to like schedule time for things. So like applying to jobs from like 9 to 12 each weekday, because no one's going to post jobs on the weekends, or at least no one's sane.
No.
So I just kind of made myself a schedule, because prior to that, I was so panicked about losing a job that I was applying to, within my first week of applying to jobs after I lost my initial job, I applied to over 1,500 jobs.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
It was chaos, absolute chaos. I'm pretty sure that's why I get so many spam phone calls now, is that I was applying to anything and everything relevant to the skill set I have.
Yeah.
And just seeing, what someone would bite. And
yeah.
I mean, eventually it ended up all coming together, a few months afterward, and I was able to get a position. But like I said, I thought it was going to be great. I was so excited to have like a Nashville job, and it's going to be cool, and it's going to be fun.
Everything's going to be better.
And it wasn't. And that's okay. But kind of like what you said about the people being better, the people that I worked with like on my main team were great. I mean, I was in no way mad about that. And I've worked on a lot of really great small teams, but then sometimes like the overarching is what kind of sucks. And like, I have been super privileged to work with people that I'm still friends with to this day. And that made all the difference, where, at the end of the day, I could have, been doing this super cool job that, is music adjacent and like all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
but I was never cool enough to be that person. I was able to do the work that should have been assigned to me, but I also just, I'm not good at the game in a way. I'm good at, I guess I'm good at some of it, but I'm not good at crawling up inside someone just because, you know, they're an owner, where I can prove to people that, like, I can knock it out of the park. I can kill it. I can be friendly. I can be the nicest person in the world to people. I can do a ton of work in a day, but when it comes down to, like, show me how cool you are, become like one of the cool kids, I'm just never that person. And I feel like jobs like that are like really where I struggle, is the people themselves are really what make or break it.
Yeah, I loved, like, I worked one job for like 5 years or 6 years maybe, and I loved the people there. Honestly, that's partially why I stayed for so long, but I had to leave because there was no room for growth for me, and luckily they understood that when I said that. Like, they got it. Like, I wanted to stay there because I liked the people, but I couldn't. I had to leave that job. But I'm still very good friends with a lot of those people. Like, I still see them when I can. I love them. So, and I'll text them all the time, and I still love them. But I had to leave that job, and they understood, and it was great. And that's, like, what makes, like, a good company, I feel like. If they can, like, try to help you get to where you want to go, but if they can't, they know they have to let you go. Because they're not trying to keep you there just to, like, squash your life. They want you to improve and move on and do good things. It's better for their company for you to do that too. Because if I just sat there and just stuck to the same old thing I was doing, I was just gonna probably end up just not doing as good a job anymore, or just start slacking off, and it would have affected them. So anyway, it would have been. It's better off I didn't stay for both of us, but I was sad to see all those people. Like I missed them. I used to see them every day. I loved them. I was like, that was my best job, I think. That was my favorite job. It was because of the people.
My favorite job was definitely my second job out of college. That group was great. I mean, I'm still really good friends with one of my coworkers. I haven't kept in touch with that many people, but I absolutely loved that job, and nothing has surpassed it yet. I mean, I'm hoping that someday I might feel that again, but as of right now, nothing's surpassed it yet. And I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. And I feel like I keep looking for that when I go places, but I don't really see it. I don't get a lot of that same, like, good feeling that I used to get. And maybe it's me. I mean, I take a lot of ownership for the way that I feel about things, and me being particular and trying to, you know, look at it from a perspective of, like, a lot of it, I'm sure at the end of the day, is me. But some of it is obviously those around me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, that job I love, when I interviewed for it, the lady that was interviewing me asked me where I lived. I mean, there we go again with, it's on my resume, but sure. So, so I told her the town, and she was like, that's like a half hour away. This isn't going to work. But she was older, and was stuck in, like, old ways. She ended up not being, like, in charge of, like, my department anyway. After like a year, I think she retired. I think she was just done. But it was a terrible start to the interview, and one of the other younger people that were working there was just like, all right, moving on, was trying to, like, move the interview along, because he was like, she's ruining it. But I ended up working there and loving it, but the interview wasn't great. It was bad.
I always get stressed out when I go to look for jobs and things, and they're like, make a video of yourself and explain to us why our company is the most special. And I'm like, yes, you know what? I would love to learn more about your company when the time comes for you to offer me a job, or for you to interview me, and don't get me wrong, there are those ideal companies where you look at and you're like, I already know a lot about this. I'd love to work here. But the reality is that with the way things are now, you can't rely on that. Like, you have to just power through and apply to anything and everything and just see what ends up fitting, because it's just so competitive. And I mean, I
It
think
is.
that I kind of struggle a lot too, where, once I got my doctorate, people expect me to be some sort of genius, where like getting educated is just about being dedicated to finishing something. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not an intelligent person, but in the same respect, I feel like the expectations are crazy for me to just like be a genius that can fix everything under the sun.
Don't worry, I've got you.
Where I think that there's a weird expectation of just like I can magically fix everything because I'm supposed to be smarter than everyone. And being educated doesn't make you smarter. It just proves that, you can get things done. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I do feel like my education made me smarter in some ways, but it doesn't make me magic. It doesn't make me a genius. Just because
Yeah.
I have a doctoral degree doesn't mean that that's just something that anyone could work toward if they really want it.
Yeah.
And people love to look at it and just say, oh, look, this person's going to fix all of our problems and everything's going to be magic and it's great.
Oh yeah.
And when it's not immediately magic, I get so stressed out because I am actually pretty good at fixing things and putting things together and making everything make sense and getting stuff done on a level that other people can't. And like I've always appreciated that about myself, but anytime I've ever fallen short, it's always like a panic where I'm like, I know the expectation's so high because they've seen like, oh, well, you've completed all this schooling and you've had all these jobs and you've done this. And the second that I fall short, I am in panic, especially now that, I've been let go from 2 positions and really looked at it and said, this was devastating to be let go when I was doing my best, trying my hardest, and being told I was doing great basically all the time. And
It's not really a boss you want either, though.
oh no. But in the same respect, like I got rattled from being let go from these jobs. Like it just like takes that toll on your confidence. Like I feel like I was rattled for a really long time and just so afraid in all of my positions and had so much anxiety every time there was something that didn't go quite right. I was so terrified to speak up about anything because I had been in a position where the second that you spoke up about something, no one wanted to hear it. And basically, after seeing myself get let go from one job and then another, and regardless of what it was said it was, regardless of the fact that it was supposed to be a budget thing and it was a layoff and this and that, part of me is always going to look at it in a way that's like, oh, like there was something wrong with me. There was something wrong that I did. And I don't know, have you ever...
Yeah, I feel that way because I feel like that's like my immediate like thought is like, oh, I messed that up. How can I fix it? How can I fix what I messed up? Which in a way I think is good. Like at least we're not like, well, that wasn't my problem. It was me.
It wasn't me.
So I guess that feels good. But I think otherwise it's kind of like I guess I worry about it for a while and then I try to move on and then just kind of like, I guess it's one of those like modes where it's like you live in that little panic and you get yourself through it because you're in that panic. And then after you're like, oh, okay, now I can relax a little bit. I feel like that's how it goes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yep.
I mean, I went through like a long time period of where like I didn't want to like spend any money. I didn't want to do anything fun. Like I wanted to only apply to jobs because I felt like that's all I had to do. And as you know, I've been going to therapy for several years and I had to really work to like learn that it's not completely my fault for everything. And like, I don't have to punish myself every time something goes wrong in my life,
Right.
which was such a huge thing. And I mean, I'm still not that great about it, but in the same respect, like I really had to work through that. So that way, I mean, this time around, as scared as I was, I knew it was going to be fine because I had already dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, taking the time to do things for me in the meantime, like going on walks every day with my dog and, making sure that I have a schedule that's, hey, you know what, I'm going to apply to these things, but it's not going to consume my life. I'm going to get things done. I'm going to do projects around my house. I'm going to do art. I'm going to go to Krav Maga. I'm going to do all the little things that I prevented myself from doing before because I was feeling bad about myself, like I didn't deserve to do anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is kind of how I ended up here too, is that, you know, I want to create a life that I want to live. I want to be able to do things that I enjoy doing, and I want my life to fit into that and have me not feel weird or bad or terrible all because I wasn't quite right for one place of work or two places of work. And when I look at it, I realize that if I can't make the time for myself to do the little things, is being employed even really worth it?
Right. I think when I quit and moved here, I had to learn, because I think I'm the hardest on myself, and I had to learn how to be like, you did all the right things to get yourself here. So you need to at least take the time to enjoy what you worked for. Like, you worked all this time to get yourself to this, to put yourself in the right position to do things you wanted to do. And now you have to try to figure out how to like live a little, and it's not all about work. But now I feel like I'm kind of like slipping into like the no work forever, but
no work forever. No work forever.
In a perfect world, that sounds amazing, but I can't not work. I feel I do need to get better about like creating a schedule. I had a schedule for like a couple months. I loved it. Like, I was doing jobs, like you said, for a certain amount of time, going to the gym, coming back, cleaning the house. Like, I had a schedule for like every day, and it felt really good, and I felt good about myself for doing that. But then like I fell off of it. And now I'm like, oh, I got to get back into that, because I liked it. I felt really good. And I think that's the hardest part about being unemployed, is trying to like find the right balance for everything.
Yeah, because it feels so consuming, and you know everyone's judging you every time that you don't get a job, or you're like, oh, I'm interviewing for this and I didn't get it, or I applied to this and I didn't get it, and people look at you still out there doing things that are fun, things that you enjoy, and a lot of the time you feel so judged by it, where the reality is that you shouldn't be, because being unemployed isn't a reason to not live at all. It's a way to explore, you know, what else there is in life. And as terrifying as it is, as difficult as it can be sometimes, I feel like that's something that I really got out of it. And I'm privileged to get that out of it. It definitely drove me into a little bit more debt than I wanted to be in. Mm-hmm. But in the same respects, I don't think that I would have ever put myself in this type of position to think about what I really want out of life and what I want to do, and not just conforming to what everyone else around me thinks that I should be doing. Yeah.
I would have never, if I would have said to myself 2 years ago I was going to do this, move and be jobless, I would have never in a million years thought that that's what I was doing. Never. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to really like it, but I do gotta get a job. Like, I always have that like one little like small squeak in like the back of my mind that's like, oh, it's time to get a job.
Yeah, I get that too. It's time to get a job, all right?
Yeah.
Let's go. Move forward. Fill your days. Fill your days.
Do something.
Get it together.
Exactly. Get your shit together. That's what I feel like is like, it's like right in the back of my head. And every once in a while I'm like, okay, I can do this. I don't have to be shitty to myself about it. I just gotta start working on it. So
that's really the big thing, is just taking all the little steps to like move forward after something like that happens, because it is a super traumatic experience to also not be able to find jobs and not be able to move forward after that, and to kind of feel stuck. And just knowing that like one day at a time you can get yourself out of it. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think about all the time how privileged I am that I haven't had to take a serving job or anything like that, where I had avoided it because I was kind of stubborn. And I mean, the reality is that I probably would have been in a better position if I had taken, you know, some sort of service job and made my life easier. But in the same respect, I'm kind of happy I didn't, because now I'm here and I still get to do things that I like to do. I still have a job, this new job that I'm working at. I really like it. Like, I'm having a good time with it. And it's like, I can't tell if my stubbornness is going to benefit me in the long term or if it's going to just take me down.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's half of it. It's more, I think, the person, like you yourself, is like the hardest on yourself when you're unemployed and you're like, you gotta be better. But it's just, like you said, creating a life you want to live. So that's the hardest part, I think, about being unemployed.
It really is.
Yep. Oh man, I gotta find a job. Yep.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Reeling it in.
No need to reel it in. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Casting It Out. If you have any questions or stories you want to share with us about your experiences, we would love to hear them.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And don't forget to follow us on social media, go to our website, all of that good stuff so you can keep up with the most from Casting It Out.